simply cannot be described by words. For many of them, this is it. And they have been rehearsing for weeks just for this particular occasion.
And I'm sure this may be the closest a child will come to seeing the president his entire life.
And that's
so
one
it's
of the
very, very special.
It's one of the significance of decentralizing the national parade, the national celebration of occasions such as these, the Independence Day of Ghana. This is the 63rd Independence Parade. And if you just joined us, this is GTV. I'm in commentary position with my colleague Selikem Akolache Apalu. Okay, so we are centralized ready for the lighting of the perpetual flame.
Symbol of the spirit of independence. It reminds us of our responsibility to keep the spirit of nationalism alive. The Cenotaph Guards are commanded by 1st Officer Class 2 Agbashi Sali Evelyn. The Ghana Army Guard is Sergeant Oseimen St. Joseph Ohime. The Ghana Navy Guard is Petty Officer Class 2 Ashia Paul. The Ghana Air Force Guard is Sergeant Abeyen Otnil. The Police Guard is Sergeant Ibrahim Nazar.
All right, so the lighting of the perpetual flame, it's one of the very significant ceremonies here.
Exactly. And the lighting of the perpetual flame is a symbol of the spirit of independence. It's also meant to awaken our spirit as individuals and as Ghanaians to uphold patriotism, nationalism. Anything that you do that does not promote the welfare of Ghana would have to desist from it and uphold only things that will move Ghana forward as a country.
And there we have it, the perpetual flame. And there is the playing of a sound I'm very familiar with to have been coming from the military. And there we have it. The president has lighted the perpetual flame. And that's...
It's meant to rekindle the flame that individuals need as Ghanaians to ensure that they do the right thing so that our nation Ghana can move forward. So we need to be constantly reminded.
And the crowd here going ecstatic. They simply cannot control their excitement to be a part of this. For many of these people, this is the first time.
And in your shot now, we have the Air Force towing the Ghana flag as the perpetual flame is lighted. You know, the flag is a spirit of Ghana. When you go anywhere, you are holding the flag. You don't have to introduce yourself. You tell everybody where you are from. So just as the perpetual flame is lighted, the flag is to remind us of our commitment to Mother Ghana, to ensure that we progress as a people.
Everybody else is seeing the beauty of what has just happened. I am looking at the hard work behind the scenes that made this happen. It would have taken a lot of practice, a lot of rehearsal, and the timing was so perfect that as soon as the perpetual flame was lighted, the chopper with the Ghana flag just showed up in the air, waving the Ghana flag around. It's a sight to behold. The hard work, precision.
Exactly. And rehearsal is the only way you can get it right.
If you're watching us from wherever you are, and you are not at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium right now, just over our heads at the moment, we can feel the vibration of the chopper as it flies over our heads from the position where we are bringing you commentary. You need to be here right now to have a feel of the excitement here. Our cameras will try to bring you all the reactions from the stands like we're doing now, but the emotions, you simply have to be here to feel it. Ashanti region, Kumasi is blessed to have this ceremony come to them, and you can see it for yourselves. Everyone is excited here.
And as we celebrate and are excited, we should not forget that we need to keep our spirits of nationalism alive. Sometimes when you walk into town, you wonder whether we really love our nation. Filth has engulfed us. And so we need to remind ourselves, anything that draws us back, we have to desist from it.
And now that the perpetual flame has been lighted. But there are other activities that the president will be engaging in. The ceremony will continue from here. Selikem, are we able to let our audience know exactly what's coming up from here? And then we'll prepare them for it as we proceed with the coverage.
As we're going to see the security services continue. Some selected groups, including representatives of all the 16 regions. If you're updated, 16 regions now. And of course, the Nation Builders Corps, forestation groups, and other banners. We are also going to see the march past by the veterans, as the Veterans Administration Ghana. We'll see a cultural display, gymnastics by the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School.
It is important, Selikem, to talk about the Veterans Administration Ghana and the members. This is a group that was formed following the riots in 1948, the Crossroads shooting in 1948 that got 3 soldiers who had returned from the Second World War, who had gone there to fight on behalf of the British. They returned, and the compensation that was due them was not given to them. And when they were going to the castle to demand for these compensations, 3 of them were killed on the spot. We are made to understand that a lot more of them died later from wounds they received on that occasion. We have Teacher Kantanka here. When the time permits us, we will allow Teacher to give us a bit of that history. She just talked about the fact that, and we'll be seeing them pretty shortly, the veterans who returned from the war, 1948. Largely, it is believed that it was that single incident that sparked off the true attainment of independence, and got Osajifo and J.B. Dankwa and everybody else who had a hand in Ghana's attainment of independence at the time to wake up and begin to actually push for the final shot to be given.
Yeah, that is very true. What happened after they had been shot, and 23 of them were also severely wounded, and this sparked general looting and misunderstanding everywhere. So this actually made the government of that day, that is the British government, understand that there is something heavier coming from the sky, so that they have to prepare. And this again made the civilians also engage in a lot of demonstrations.
We'll get back to that as we proceed with the coverage of this event. But Commander, you tell us. So now we're about to see the what's the next thing? Selikem, you have all the details about the program, and then we'll proceed from there. We currently find pleasantries being exchanged by some of the high-profile dignitaries who are here. Of course, the president paying some courtesies to Otumfor, the Speaker of Parliament, and the other invited guests who are here along with him. So we're about to see the march past now.
The Ghana Armed Forces and the security services will march off to pave way for the pupils and the students to march, as well as the other groups. And after that, we'll have the gymnastics and other cultural performances. It is after that the military and the security services will come back.
So, by the right of quick march.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the contingents from the Ghana Armed Forces and other security services will march off to make way for the march past by the school children, representatives of the Nation Builders Corps, civil society groups, and the Veterans Administration Ghana. I will humbly hand you over to Madame Cassandra Chumampofo, the the Ghana Education Service Head of Public Relations to continue with the march past by the basic and senior high schools.
Thank you very much, Captain Abena Dapua Dapa. If you just joined us, this is the 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade being held under the theme Consolidating Our Gains at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the school's contingent from the Ghana Education Service were drawn from the Kumasi metropolis, Oforikum, Palaso, and Asofari-Mampo Municipal. The schools are made up of 5 senior high schools, 8 basic schools, and 1 vocational special school. The basic schools are St. Luanga, JHS, Weweso MAJHS,
countries opening the way for other countries.
CI Amedia JHSB,
Indeed, it is a day of great pride for many Ghanaians.
College Basic Aid, Odumase Extension, and Good Shepherd Junior High School.
So all the pupils and students who will be marching here are pupils and students who have been assembled from various schools in the Kumasi metropolis. And they will be doing the march past. They have been rehearsing on these grounds for at least 5 weeks. And so we wait to see what they have to display to the rest of Ghana. It's the 63rd Independence Day in Ghana. And before we see the students come to march, and of course the GS is playing an active role in this. This is the armed forces,
mass band.
The mass band.
Yes, and it's made up of the Armed Forces Central Band, the Army Band, the Navy Band, the Air Force Band, and the Police Band. So this is the mass band.
Okay. And I just wanted to find out from the traditional ruler's point of view here, how when you first heard that this year the ceremony was being taken to Kumasi, what was the reception like? How did you receive that news?
It was wholehearted. without asking any question. We had to embrace it with all our hearts because it makes history. The first time in history that something of that nature is to take place in Kumasi and for the whole of the region.
It's interesting that you are a historian and today you will be part of history. When many years to come, it is said that the first Independence Day parade at the national level, when it was brought to Kumasi, Teacher Kantanka was part of the commentary team for GBC. And so you become a part of history, and others will have to narrate that many years to
in
come
the 60s,
after today.
I was holding the flag, and among those who had lined up on the roadside. And it was even difficult to sing the national anthem those days. Those days, in the early 60s, the national anthem was not God Bless Our Homeland Ghana. It was Lift Up the Flag of Ghana.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to this point, and this is where Commander would have to let us know exactly what is going on. President Akufo-Addo and his guest of honor.
All right, so now we have the mass band in our shots, and the parade commander has called the student contingent to attention, and they have started marching. In all, we have 16 contingents from basic and senior high schools drawn from Kumasi Metropolis and Kwadaso, Oforikrum, and Asokore Mampong municipality. We'd also have the Veterans Administration Ghana March Pass. We also have the Nation Builders Corps, or NAPCO. We'll have representatives from all 16 regions. I can tell you for sure that we'll have the Kayayes also on parade today. And so it's going to be a beautiful sight to behold.
The Kayaye, we saw them when they were coming in. I thought it was a beautiful sight. But I had my
distinctively with their headbands.
With their headbands.
So you could tell that these were the Kayaye coming in.